Reselling changes your life if you stick with it, you do it long enough, and you have some success. It can also change your life if you do it badly, but I don't want to go there today. Well, Bucky did her dirty. Bucky done her wrong. Good morning. This is Brian. I'm out at the lake with my cup of coffee, but today I won't get to stay here for long. Got a whole series of things going on. Getting a little warm in the house already. It's June, and it's a nice June this year. Tree cutters are gone. Now I've got a big pile of firewood rounds to deal with. Rose has to reset that part of the yard because she'd moved all the plants out of the way. We're resellers here in the Pacific Northwest. And today, most of it anyway, is going to be about reselling and the kinds of things a reseller, at least Rose and I, get up to. But I found her in her chair, in her recliner, blanket pulled up, trying to fall back asleep. We call that her office. She does an awful lot from her office. She's got her phone, she's got her laptop. She can connect with the world from her recliner. I've got an actual office in the house. She prefers to be in her chair or on the go. Sometimes it's hard to anchor that woman down. She's got a busy social calendar, not to mention the work she does on behalf of our business. But this morning, she was laying in bed early. I think it's only 7 now, and she kept hearing one of her wind chimes. We've got a plethora of wind chimes here on the property. She likes them. Big ones, little ones, low sounding ones, high pitched ones. It tells us how windy it is, because the big ones don't even move until the breeze kicks up. But one of the little bucks, we've got one with little tiny antlers, and he doesn't come around as often as the does, but I guess he was doing something that kept knocking into that wind chime. And we call him Bucky, by the way. All little immature male deer. We've been calling him Bucky for years. So Bucky's knocking into that wind chime to the point where Rose couldn't fall back to sleep. She had to get up and shoo Bucky along, go outside early. Too early, according to her. Hence the reason she was in her recliner with her blanket pulled up, trying to fall back to sleep. Rather than toss and turn, she gets up. She figures as long as she's awake, she might as well start her day. So Bucky done her wrong. So today, I'm gonna start it with my coffee. Practical things first. Maybe do a little stretching because I've got some carrying to do today. Got to finish loading the lots. I finished making the lots, but while the tree cutters had their chipper up next to the door to my workshop, I wasn't over there working yesterday, so I've got to put the last half dozen lots, the boxes physically into the truck, type up the consignment list, and we're going to head over and drop those off at a local auction. I don't know how much I'll be filming, but the goal is to go over, drop off items that are either not suitable for eBay or that we have an excessive abundance, or that went up on eBay, spent some time on eBay, and we took them down from eBay. They may be made up of bits and pieces from other large lot buys. They were the flotsam and jetsam that we didn't want. We weren't buying the lot to get those items, but they came along with, which is a good thing, bad thing situation. You're having to buy an entire lot, and along with it comes things you're not interested in. But that gives you a sourcing opportunity to flip them out in another group locally and recoup some cash. Bad news is it's extra time hauling, extra space while they're here that gets occupied by product, and then they've got to be sorted, dusted off, cleaned, and then sent back out and delivered. And of course, all that, it's a regular part of our routine. The good news is we've found out that there's a Chick-fil-A not too far from where our destination is today. And I like Chick-fil-A. I don't get it often because we don't have one here. I think I first got it when Rose and I traveled to see Elvis in Graceland. Yeah, that was a good trip. Oddly, we had that delivered by the like Uber Eats to the hotel because the main dining room, the restaurant was closed for repairs when we stayed there. A challenging start to a vacation, but it included Chick-fil-A, and even after it cooled as the delivery driver brought it to us, I still thought it was. We live in a fast food deprived area. You know, our favorites from past years aren't available here in a small town in western Washington. So when we do head over towards the city, either Olympia, which is our capital, or further around towards Seattle, we're checking the map to decide where we want to have lunch, because lunch is an integral part of reselling. As long as you're making a road trip, you might as well pick up the perks along the way. So we got to I got to type the consignment list, finish loading the truck, and then we'll be on the road. So if a tree fell at the lake and there was no content creator there to see it, did it happen? Yeah, it did. But it reminds me of an old axiom when I was going to sonar technician school. You've probably heard it said, you know, if a tree fell in the woods and there was no one there to hear it, did it make a sound? Well, in school, we were taught that it did not make. In the business I was learning in those days, sonar, we were taught that to have a sound, you had to have a transmitter, a medium, and a receiver. The medium would be air or water. The sound, of course, would be the tree hitting the ground. But the receiver would be the human ear. So if there was no human there to hear it, you would not have a sound. And what that really does is it just points out that words have different meaning to different people. When you say reselling, some people picture the salesman down at Best Buy selling them a stereo, or a guy on a used car lot flipping a used car trying to convince you to spend your hard-earned money on just the right car for you. He's got it. When I was a teenager, went to live with my dad when I got my driver's license and was hunting for my first real car. And he told me, he said, you can sell an old man a young man's car, but you can't sell a young man an old man's car. And that thought has stayed with me ever since. And as I became a reseller nearly 30 years ago, it's interesting how you have to kind of tailor what you're selling and how you sell to the market that's in front of you. Whether that be in person like it was when we first started, you know, you got to kind of read the audience. You got to read the room. You got to watch the guy in front of you. And you see where his eyes go. You see what he's attracted to. If in front of him is a whole table of similar tools, which one does he pick up first? What brand does he go for? And it's a little harder on eBay because you're disconnected from that potential buyer. You don't know what he's been looking at before he found your listing. You don't know what he's going to look at after he found your listing. So in that short span that he's at your listing, you've got to grab his attention. And a lot of people think that that's just price. If my price is better, I'll have his attention. Well, you might, but price isn't everything. Now, of course, in retirement, I find much more humor and laughter. Yeah, I feel more like a kid now than I ever did as a teenager. My schedule as a teenager was to, as we said in the military, balls to the wall. I get up about 5:36, finish any residual homework I had, which usually I didn't. Get some food, get off to school, get through my classes, my senior year, they wouldn't release me from afternoon classes because I had my credits. So I went to a vocational school, different facility. So I had to drive across town, work building a house, leave that job. It was like a job. It was afternoon vocational school. Drive to an actual job where I worked as a stockroom warehouse guy for a big department store. I'd do that until 9 or 10, whenever they closed. I'd usually go out and get something to eat. Once I had a girlfriend, I'd go out with her. Yeah, I'd get back to where I was living with my dad. Midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. Then I'd back up at 5:30, 6, and then that was my life. There wasn't a lot of spare time in there for much of anything. So the military suited me very well after my teenage years. So the fact that I had long days, lots of pressure, things going on, multiple balls in the air, if you will, I just kind of rolled into that. So now retirement, people's concern for me was that how would I back off? How would I slow down? And the solution, of course, was that Rose and I decided to build a log house, clear some acreage, put in a well, put in septic, design the house ourselves, build the workshop, start the garden. So my transition was to stay active. And it's pretty much been that way ever since. And now I'm getting into my late 60s. I actually do sit on the deck, have coffee, try to enjoy our time at the lake, our time together. But still, reselling gets you in the blood. Reselling changes your life if you stick with it, you do it long enough, and you have some success. It can also change your life if you do it badly, but I don't want to go there today. So it changes your life, and I'm not just talking about an income or working from home. Those topics are covered all the time by people. How I was able to quit my job and earn a 5-figure income or a 6-figure income or whatever the tagline is on the video. I'm talking about it actually changes your process. You start thinking, why do I need to pay retail for that? There's someone out there in my neighborhood who has what I want or need at a discounted price. You go into the grocery store and pretty soon you're starting to think, hey, I think they're overpriced zucchini. There must be a cheaper way to get that zucchini. Or when you do see something that seems undervalued, you're like, I think there might be a profit in there. Pretty soon you find yourself going places and you're like unconsciously evaluating, I wonder if that would sell on eBay. Or you're over at your son-in-law's house and the topics of conversation turn to, so what have you sold lately? What's hot? What's going on? Yeah, it actually changes your whole mental strategy. You'll be driving down the road and hit the brakes and you'll pull over because there was a sign that said garage sale or free, and you're on it. You're going to check that out. So yes, reselling can change your life. You can also meet people, make new friends, find out who's reselling in your neighborhood. If you've got a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you can do it together. It can become a shared activity. I don't know that Rose and I have taken a vacation in the last 20 years that hasn't at least included some thrift store shopping. We go downtown. We'll go downtown in Amsterdam, and the next thing you know, we're not only enjoying the sights and having some food and having maybe a cappuccino, but we're looking around for thrift stores and farmers markets, and it was the same way when we went down the Mississippi, and we'd pull into one of these small towns in the south and climb up the hill, and it's like, oh, it's Saturday morning. There's a farmers market. Well, we got all the food we want back on the cruise ship. It's not like we're going to go over there and actually buy corn, but we might buy an apple or something to eat along the walk. But yeah, it becomes ingrained in you. There's a farmer's market. Well, let's go see what this town has to offer. Oh, there's a thrift store. Let's go see what they sell in this area. There's an art gallery. Maybe we'll go to the thrift store. No, I like art galleries. I'm just joking. But anyway, I'm going to go get another cup of coffee, get on with my morning stretches, and then get about our day. There's a nice cool breeze here at the lake. In fact, flip that. That's the lake this morning. I'm Brian from Cabin Fever Solutions.